Hello and welcome to
WhoNoob
and WhoVeteran. Today we are reviewing Last Christmas. And this is your first ever Christmas special, is it not?
It is my first.
Yeah. So you've had a whole series now, all
Had one
series 8.
series 8 with Peter Capaldi. And yeah. And I was excited for this one because it had Nick Frost in it. So
Yeah, Nick Frost is the man.
yeah, he's the man. He is the man.
Yeah. Him and Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg should have turned up.
Simon Pegg's already been in an episode.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
What?
About 10 years ago in an episode called The Long Game.
Oh wow.
Way back in series 1.
So because he wouldn't have been that famous then, would he?
No. I think it was the same year Shaun of the Dead came out, I think.
Ah, so that sort of made him.
Yeah, so it was, yeah.
Cool, interesting.
But yeah, so now all we need is Edgar Wright to direct an episode, and then we've got the whole trio.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, on to the actual episode.
Last Christmas.
So, yeah, Last Christmas. What did you think of it, Russell?
I loved it. I really liked it. I thought it was good. I found it entertaining. There were bits and pieces, like, don't get me wrong, not all of it I was in love with, you know, like anything, there's bits that annoy you, you know. But should I talk about the bits that annoyed me? Should I tell you the bits that annoyed me?
Okay.
Okay.
Say the good stuff as well, or else it's just like, you know.
Well, I thought Nick Frost was awesome. I liked Clara's character. Well, I mean, I liked how she fitted into the piece. What annoyed me the most was probably the way it ended. I liked how it finished with her being old, and then it felt like a sort of cop-out when they made her made it another dream, you know. It was like, this is too many dreams, you know. We get the point of a dream, and to
Inception
be
on
honest,
steroids.
yeah, and I was like, I'd totally forgotten that. It's Jenna Coleman, isn't it?
Yeah.
That she had, at first she was going to be leaving the series, and then she decided last minute that she was going to come back for season 9. And as soon as they made it another dream, and she wasn't old anymore, it reminded me of all that. I remembered, and realised they've obviously done this as a reason to bring her back.
Yeah, you know? It's like it was obvious that she was supposed to leave.
Yeah,
but it's obvious at the last minute she changed her mind, and at the last minute they had to change the script.
Yeah, and I found what I liked the whole idea of her being old. They had some really nice moments there, and then it was like
the cracker scene was great.
Yeah, the cracker scene was great. All of that.
That was actually a callback to last year's Christmas special, because the 11th Doctor, our last Doctor before, you know, he died and regenerated. Yeah, Matt Smith. Before he died and regenerated and turned to Peter Capaldi, he had aged a lot and become really old in that last episode. Oh. And there was a scene where he you know, he already had a Christmas cracker, or Cara grabbed a Christmas cracker. No, she had the Christmas cracker, that's right.
Is she young in it? Or?
Yeah, she's young in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is last year.
Yeah.
It's Christmas special. Anyway, so she has a Christmas cracker, and so, because the Doctor's really old now, you know, she helps the Doctor pull the Christmas cracker in the same way that the Doctor helped Cara pull the Christmas cracker in this episode, because, you know, she was old now, and so the Doctor's helping her have the strength to do the Christmas cracker, like how she helped him have the strength to pull the Christmas cracker last year.
Well, knowing that,
it was a nice callback and a nice.
Well, knowing that makes me want it to even more so to.
Because then it's like a bookend.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
Like, you know, last year was like this year it's like this.
And what a way it would have been for Jenna Coleman to leave the series. You know, it would have been a really, you know, and even though it's kind of sad because it sort of made me go, oh, you know, poor Jenna, you know, but you know. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, none of it actually, you know, even though it's like a happy ending that, you know, she's young again and all that, but it was it was nice. It was nice. I like the original way it ended. I had some questions.
Before we go on, can I just give my piece?
Yeah, of course.
On the ending.
No, you can't.
Yeah, WhoNoob gets the top billing. It's
Yeah.
WhoNoob and WhoVeteran, not WhoVeteran and WhoNoob.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's your show,
It's
not
my
mine.
show. Yeah, exactly.
It's our show. Remember that. Our show.
Our show. Okay, never do that again.
Sorry.
Okay.
So anyway, back on point. So what I thought of that ending, I did love her being old, and Jenna Coleman's performance is great. Being old, because she managed to capture that thing of, it's hard to act old because old people are always trying to act young, and so it's kind of hard. You got to act old, acting young, and it's hard to do when you are actually young to do that. And I think she really managed to do that. She really kind of captured that in what little the episode she spent being old, but you know what time she was old. I think she really managed to capture that. And
it's like when people act drunk.
Yeah.
People that are drunk try to act sober.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, are you talking from experience?
No, from an acting point of view. Yeah, we're talking from an actor's point of view.
Yeah, but are you talking also from...
No.
Times getting
No, never. I don't, no.
But yeah, but as for like the ending, like suddenly Santa Claus pops up and then it's like, oh, it's a dream because Santa Claus means it's not real. That did kind of feel a bit rushed and forced. I didn't mind it because they had learned from it, like it had kind of happened to them and they had grown as characters from the experience of, you know, seeing Kara old like that. So it wasn't like it has no consequence and just didn't happen at all. It still has an impact, even though it's not as much of an impact as it sort of should have been. And the ending was clunky. It was very clunky. It was very much like, oh, okay, she's changed her mind, gotta really just like force an extra 5 minutes here.
That's what it made me remember, you know, I'd totally forgotten about it a little bit, and I was like, oh, you know, this is... Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see that it's, you know, like, it still has its meaning there, but...
And then it has that kind of, that nice little, you know, bit at the end where the Doctor says, I never get second chances, which isn't true. I mean, the Doctor never used to get second chances until, like, the last 3 series of him, which he's had nothing but second chances with Gallifrey and all that stuff. But anyway, ignoring that, it was still very nice though, because then you got the tangerine there. That's all like for kids. You know, kids will interpret that as, Santa Claus is actually real. But then like older audiences will get, okay, and the Doctor Universe Santa isn't actually real. It's just, you know, it's the tangerine's just symbolizing kind of what Santa stands for in that.
No, Santa's real, man. Santa's real. Don't. Okay,
the reason why the Doctor got a second chance of Kara and got to travel with her again wasn't literally because Santa Claus put them back together. It's just more, you know, it's Christmas
spirit.
The Christmas spirit and the fact that, you know, good luck and things just sometimes are good, and it's Christmas time and all that, and it's, you know, it's for older audiences, it's showing what Santa Claus represents and stands for, and Santa Claus is real, not as a person, but as a concept. Santa Claus is totally 100% real, and his ideals are definitely real. But then for little kids, younger kids watching the show, they can be all like, Santa Claus is literally real, he is an actual person, because look, you know, he put the Doctor and Kara back together, and that's, I thought that was really nicely handled. End bit.
It was cool. It was cool.
And you already said Nick Frost was great in the role.
Nick Frost was amazing. He's just, he's got his... And it was a different sort of Santa, you know? It wasn't the Santa you expected.
It was a Stephen Moffat Santa.
Yeah,
it was very... He was very Stephen Moffat-y. He had a witty comeback to everything. He was quite Doctor-like, as in...
I like that he was very Nick Frost as well, you know?
Yeah.
He was very himself.
And he, you know, his sack's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
He's a bit grumpy like the Doctor is.
Was that him making a dig at the Doctor with the TARDIS thing?
So.
Yeah.
And it's like him and the Doctor are almost kind of competing almost. I kind of dug that. I dug it and didn't dug it because it was very much like Stephen Moffat's written this kind of character before, quite a few times.
Okay.
But also at the same time I liked it though because Nick Frost's performance, and also we've never seen Santa Claus portrayed like this.
Yeah.
We've seen Stephen Moffat write characters like this before.
But not as
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Although I do want to point out one thing. They compare Santa and the Doctor as being kind of similar and both like these great fairy tales and stuff like that. Isn't that exactly what Robot of S.H.I.E.L.D. was about, with comparing Robin Hood with the Doctor.
Yeah, they did.
It's like,
yeah,
come on, we just did this like a few episodes back.
yeah,
It was more well done than it was in Robot of Sherwood, because Robot of Sherwood was more like Robot of Rubbish.
yeah.
It was a bad episode.
Yeah.
But, you know, this was more well executed, but still it's kind of like repeating ideas here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of repeating of ideas, but I'll let you finish first and then I'll say what was not original here.
No, that's alright. I'll go on to my questions, eh?
Yeah.
So, what I didn't get about it was why Santa had control over the monsters.
I didn't? It's a dream. There you go.
Yeah, it's
there
a
you
dream,
go.
but
That's it.
But even if it's a dream, should he... Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Okay, I won't, yeah. Movie logic. Okay,
yeah. I mean, that's what Stephen Moffat was doing. He's like, you know, the Doctor says dreams are all disjointed and full of gaps.
Yeah,
it's like Stephen Moffat's going like, thank God,
yeah.
I don't have to worry about the plot holes as much this time around.
Yeah,
it's okay. And ironically, this episode didn't have many plot holes compared to Stephen Moffat's usual, like the last episode, the Death in Heaven, which was just jam-packed full of plot holes. Death in Heaven.
Yeah.
And in this episode, which actually has an excuse for plot holes,
Yeah.
barely has any.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
Yeah. Yeah. He should have somehow turned the last one into a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing was, I liked that big, what's Clara's dead partner's name?
Danny?
Danny. I like that moment where, I feel bad saying it like that. Two dead partners. Danny. One of my favourites. I really like that moment where he was talked to her, within the dream obviously, but about the 5 minutes.
Yeah,
think about miss me for 5 minutes.
And
apart from that, move on. You know.
Yeah, I like that too, and it's kind of cool because it's not actually Danny saying that. This is Kara coming to that realization.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
And another cool thing about I didn't really like Danny's character in Series 8. I mean, he started off great and into the Dalek, and I was like, oh, he's really promising, and then, you know, I've already said this back in our Series 8 video, but then he was just like another character that's just like this weird meld of other characters that Moffat's done before, and it's just been there, done that, unoriginal, not old ideas coming at the same perspective. It's just like, what was the point? But anyway, I liked him.
It's hard for me to judge the characters like that because I haven't seen the old episode, the old series. But yeah, sorry.
But in this episode though, I think he really worked because, like, one, the 5 minutes thing, and also this is how Kara perceives Danny. So he's almost like Danny, but not quite. These little things like, you know, he's a bit wittier, he's a bit more energetic.
Not dreamy, but like, yeah,
he's a bit more upbeat, a bit more energetic, a bit more witty, a bit more kind of like Kara. Really, it's like Kara's dream guy is Kara and is herself in guy form.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually kind of almost like a more flirtatious version of the Doctor, almost.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like, yeah, what if the Doctor was more flirtatious?
And then, but I remember we had a discussion about the moment where they're coming down the stairs and he's like,
"Do you want to know what got on underneath?"
Yeah, that part.
And she's like, "Nothing, you're too shy."
No, she said your pajamas. Pajamas. But we were saying, you know, in a dream, you know, would it go the other way? But then it sort of explained it later with the dream
try to make it as real as possible. So it's like, it's this half and half. Kind of pretty much being real, but there's still just a couple of like little subtle things which change depending on how your mind takes it.
Yeah, like the chalkboard in her
house. Yeah, well, that was
that says you are dead. Yeah.
Well, that was the Doctor talking to her, and then, you know, like, you know, sometimes when you hear things in the real world, they bleed through into your dreams in funny ways. Yeah. But yeah, so is that all?
Yeah, that's me. That's.
Okay. Yeah, well, for me, I agree with all your points. I also want to say that it's nice having a base under siege story. It's a simple, you know, they're in a base, it's under siege, very classic Doctor Who kind of formula. I always enjoy base under siege stories. 9 times out of 10, I enjoy them. It's been done a million times before, but it's that thing where, like, almost every time they do a base under siege story, it's just different enough where it feels fresh and it's exciting and it's, you know. This one though wasn't really done differently enough in my opinion, because the dream crabs have got the whole don't look and don't think gimmick, which we've had. Stephen Moffat's done monsters before where you can't look at them.
Yeah, well, even Time Heist.
And then Time Heist had them.
Was similar. Yeah.
You couldn't think about them.
Yeah.
In Time Heist. And now again, this one you can't think like in Time Heist, and you can't look. So it's like Moffat's like, I've run out of gimmicks now for monsters. So now I'm just gonna have monsters that have 2 gimmicks.
Yeah, that had been used before.
Yeah, but no, they don't need a gimmick. Like they would have been much better monsters if they just didn't have that gimmick. They didn't need the don't look, don't think thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And in fact, if anything, it would have given them like 5 extra minutes of screen time that they spent explaining that to do something else.
Yeah.
And like flesh up the characters more. And yeah. And also speaking of the characters, they're so two-dimensional. You got the creepy guy who's there to give some really creepy, crass humor. Sort of like, it's not really humorous, it's more uncomfortable, but it makes you laugh because it is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that kind
so
of
that sort of...
So you got him, and he's really just there so that they can kill someone off without the audience feeling bad. Which I don't like that. This is Doctor Who. Death is like a huge thing in Doctor Who, and like people should die in Who.
Kill them all. Not
yeah,
all.
but you know, in Doctor Who, it used to be basically a standard that like every episode, you know, at least one person that you grew attached to over the course of the episode will die at some point.
Yeah, you don't really care when that guy died. It's like
yeah, like we haven't really had this for like several series. Like you wouldn't really know this because you've only been watching series 8, and there hasn't really been much, apart from in the final, there wasn't really much death in series 8, and so. You know, I want death to carry proper weight again, and I want characters that we actually care about actually end up dying more as well.
You're very dark.
And also, I don't want them dragged out like Danny's death in the final. I want them to actually just like die, bam, and then we deal with the emotional consequences. But yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so we got the creepy old guy, then we got the older lady who has no personality at all, like 0. She's in a wheelchair when she wakes up, that's it. Then you got Ashley, who was sort of like, she was fairly well characterised, but then they kind of ruined it at the end by revealing that she wasn't a scientist, which, like, she should have been an actual scientist in real life.
Which one was she? Was she the one, Ashley, what was she?
Not the blonde one, the other one.
The one in the wheelchair?
No, the wheelchair was the older one.
Oh.
The dark-haired girl.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so it's like, you know, she's like, you know, I think she was like an accountant for like
the one from Coronation Street. She's in Cora.
Oh, is it? Oh, is she? Okay. But yeah, but you know, she's like, I'm an accountant for perfume. It's like, no, like out of all of them, she was the one who was most acting like a scientist. So it's like, they should have actually made her a real scientist, and then that's where the whole science thing was coming in the dream. It was coming from her mind.
Yeah.
I was like, but no, she's an accountant. That okay. And then you got Shona, who is the blonde girl, who was totally just Stephen Moffat characterization 101. Entertaining, but no depth. Entertaining, no depth, witty. There you go. I would not be surprised if she was like supposed to be the new companion, but then Jenna Coleman was like, I want to stay, and I was like, okay, we're forgetting about Shona now.
Yeah, the script's out.
Which I'm kind of glad. Like, Shona was entertaining, but I don't want her as a companion. No, thank you.
The fact that she, the one who was in the wheelchair, sort of contradicts the idea of it having, you know, the dreams being as real as possible. Do you know what I mean?
True. Yeah, good point.
You know,
good
and the
point.
scientist.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't keep it as real as possible, then you know, like, because we can understand the Doctor and Clara turning up. You know, that's a believable sort of thing because they turn up in all sorts of places. Yeah. But what's a perfume lady turning up
as a scientist?
As a scientist at a...
But yeah, it's like their minds have been changed so that they think they're scientists. Yet the Doctor and Clara still think they're the Doctor and Clara, which is kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also the whole dream thing. That's both ripping off Amy's Choice. It's kind of done differently from Amy's Choice. Amy's Choice was about choosing between 2 different dreams. well, they thought one was a dream, one was reality, and they turned out that they're both dreams, and that was kind of the twist at the end, that they weren't choosing between dream and reality, they're just choosing between two different dreams. Whereas this one, there's no choice going on, so it's like Amy's choice, but stripped back. So there's just a linear progression rather than like having to figure out what's dream and what's reality. And then you've also got like elements of like Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, which is the episode that Stephen Moffat wrote. Admittedly back in 2008, so that's like, you know, 6, 7, 8 years ago now. Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago. But still, it's a script that Moffat wrote, and that was about people being in like a dreamlike state. It was about people who died and then went to a cyberspace, which that sound like last episode to you, Death in Heaven.
Yeah.
So you kind of repeated it there, which was okay because it was approached differently because you had the whole remain conscious thing. But here though, it wasn't approached differently. It wasn't cyberspace here, but it was still though going into like a dreamlike kind of state, and then everything's kind of funny and disjointed and doesn't quite fit together like that dream-like cyberspace world that the people were going to in Silence in the Library, which is an episode that Moffat wrote. And it's not really approached differently, other than it's a dream rather than cyberspace.
Yeah.
And it's like Moffat, you've done this. Everything you do in this episode you've done before. It's sort of done alright. It's sort of like, it's a well executed episode, good acting, good directing, as per usual Doctor Who. But yeah, Moffat's script here was like, just like this gym jam of different episodes he's written in the past. Kind of like, listen, it's just all these different bits and pieces from old episodes thrown together. And I'm fine with that as long as you come at these old ideas with a different perspective, so that they feel fresh, but he doesn't. He comes at it with the same perspective. Or if he does come at it with a different perspective, it's not a different perspective, it's just that he's got rid of the perspective and it's just the idea floating on its own. Which is, yeah. It's an entertaining episode, but there's not really much depth, and it's kind of clunky in bits. Although, there is one resoundingly great thing. Capaldi and Jenna Coleman and Nick Frost are great performances from them, especially Capaldi and Jenna Coleman. They were great. And Murray Gold's score for this episode, the music in this episode was really, really good. Murray Gold always makes good music for Doctor Who, but you know, this episode was a really, really good soundtrack, I think. That's all I really had to say on it. It was kind of...
One more thing that I thought you might want to say something about, because you mentioned, was the title sequence. Did you want to say? Oh,
the title sequence, yeah. Out of Sync Again. And,
Is it? Excuse me.
And Christmasified. The Christmassy thing was okay, I guess.
Is it out of sync, or have they just changed this?
No, the music's out of sync. Pay attention, the music's out of sync. It's like, come on guys. It's like there's this bit where it's supposed to fade in at the start, when the music goes nang 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 nang, and it's got this little bit where it's supposed to fade in with the fog as it goes and then there's a very distinct that the clockwork starts moving on the first beat of nang nang, and they miss it. And it's like, how do you miss it? It's so distinct. It very sharply suddenly starts moving when the beat's supposed to kick in. And it's like, why is it in sync in some episodes and out of sync in others? If you don't want the fade in thing, that's fine, just cut that bit. And some episodes have done that. And it's gone straight to the clockwork moving. But you know, go straight to it. Have the outside of the title sequence and then go to nang na nang nang na nang without the fade in bit, whereas often they have the and it cuts to the title sequence of nang na nang nang na nang, but it's still doing the fade in bit, but without fading in, and it's just the fog, and then you get the clockwork. It's just like,
we're gonna have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, anyway, it's like...
I've worked you up now.
Yeah, anyway, let's not nitpick. It doesn't actually affect the actual episode. So just before we give the score for this episode, we forgot in our Series 8 video to show what our scores of each individual episode were there. So I'm just going to flash up on the screen now our individual scores. My opinions have changed on some episodes, and my scores have changed on some episodes from Series 8. Although, again, if you want to know our opinions on Series 8, just go watch our Series 8 video and also look at all these scores. And if you really want to see the individual videos, you can click the link in the description of the Series 8 review we did, but wait until we've done our Series 9 reviews, our hopefully improved and better Series 9 reviews, and then check out those, Series 8 reviews. Anyway, so those are our scores for all the Series 8 episodes. And now what is your score for Last Christmas out of 10?
I would have given it probably higher, but because of the ending, I would 7.5
Out of
100. No, out of 10. Out of 10.
Okay, 7.5. Oh man, not a whole number. Okay, fine, you can do that if you want.
Okay, I can try to give it a whole number.
That's okay. You can do halves if you want.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I just won't do the halves, and then I'll end up looking like the guy who's always cynical and everything, because you'll give it like 8.5.
Yeah.
And I'll just give it an 8, and they'll be like, why is he always giving it low? It's like, I just don't do halves. But anyway, getting back on point, because I have to write it 7.5. 7.5. Anyway, for me, I'm gonna give it. I'm just gonna contradict myself, and now I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
4.5.
I know. I just said I'm only gonna do wholes, and now I'm doing a half.
Yeah.
But,
So was it gonna be a 3?
No, it was gonna be a 4 or 5, and
Oh, it was gonna be a 4. Yeah, sorry.
4 or 5, and I was like, I couldn't make my mind up. I feel like it's not. It's unoriginal, so it should be below average, but it's fairly well executed. So it's got kind of a good message to it and some really sweet moments. So it's like, it's not bad, but it's just like so unoriginal, and I just find the creepy guy just kind of almost gratuitous, having the creepy guy there. Yeah, 4.5. Like it's average and ever so slightly more leaning towards the negative side. It's
I like it more than you liked it.
yeah, but yeah, 4.5 out of 10.
Cool.
Cool. And
Well, we'll see you next week.
later this week.
Later
We'll
this
see
week.
you later this week for our review of The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar. And then the following Wednesday after that, we'll be seeing you for our review of Under the Lake and Before the Flood. And then from there on in, we'll get into our weekly routine of every week reviewing each individual episode of Series 9. So, see you then.
Adios. See you then.
And, yeah.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, even though it's not actually Christmas we're recording this, but it's a Christmas special.